My name is Merrill Hutchinson. Many people call me Hutch. I am introducing tonight to you the finisher, and I would like to explain a little bit about the finisher and where it came from. To begin with, I've been a coach for all of my working career. Been a swim coach, and a track coach, soccer coach, a wrestling coach. I'm also spent 12 years teaching at the high school level, and I've spent the last 14 years as a counselor. So I have a varied background, but I've always had my foot in the coaching door. I myself also am very physically active. I would say that would be my hobby. That's my interest, the thing that I like to spend my time doing. And over the years, I've participated in many triathlons and running races, and just been busy that way. I really enjoy cycling and working out and lifting. With that being said, 2 years ago I had neck surgery. And with the neck surgery, it was actually my third neck surgery. And with this particular neck surgery, we had a fusion C4 through C7. And so now I have a metal plate that runs down through my cervical vertebrae. That's great, and that's very secure. But one of the problems that we had is when I came out of the surgery, a day or two after the surgery, my left arm and shoulder really began to hurt. And I noticed that I was losing my strength. And about 3 or 4 days into it, I had a follow-up visit with my doctor. And he explained, or I described what's going on in terms of my sensations and the loss of strength. And he came back and he said, well, I've got some not so good news. You're one of the very few, a couple percentages of people that actually come out of surgery with what's called C5 palsy. He was not all that reassuring. He said, well, he goes, I wish I could tell you that it's going to come all the way back and it's just a passing thing. But he said, these things have to take a course of their own, and they typically do come back, but not necessarily always 100%, and we really don't know exactly how long it's going to take. It could be 3 months. He said it's been as long as 18 months on some of the ones that he's worked with. Of course, that's not the greatest news I've ever heard in my life. I thought I finally got my neck secure and fixed, and now I don't have a left arm or shoulder that's functional. So soon after that, I began in physical therapy, and the idea behind the physical therapy was to just create everything that you could in the environment of work to try to wake that nerve and that muscle back up, to try to prevent any more atrophying of those muscles. Well, my physical therapist he just began kind of laughing at me. He's a good guy, and he came in, started looking at me, and he was kind of making fun of me. At that point, I couldn't even lift my left arm more than about 6 inches from my hip, and he thought that was funny. I didn't think that was funny at all. It was pretty miserable. But he started working with me, and we started doing basic shoulder strengthening exercises and trying to wake up that muscle. It took us about 4, almost 5 months, and I finally had range of motion back. But I had very little strength. I could probably take, I think at that time I had about a 5-pound, maybe 6-pound dumbbell that I could hold out just for a second or two, and it would just fall right back. So very little strength. At that point, we both decided we've been in physical therapy for a long time, and it was just going to take a long time for me to get back to work and get back to my full strength and range of motion again, if it was ever going to come back. So being kind of the workout fanatic that I am, I went home and I have an entire basement full of workout equipment, and I did lots of my own routines, and I began to think of ways that I could work that shoulder and stimulate the use of the muscle and hopefully wake that nerve up again. Lots of the different exercises that I did in physical therapy, but in the meantime, I'm kind of a handyman guy. I love fixing stuff, repairing stuff. I do a lot of remodeling kind of things also. And I noticed that so many of the exercises that I was doing were similar to finishing concrete. And I've finished a little bit of concrete over the years. I'm definitely not very good at it, but I still have tried it. And I started simulating the same moves of finishing concrete on my basement floor with, at first, just my arms, and then grabbing some dumbbell weights. Well, that was really pretty incredible in terms of what it was doing for my shoulder. As primitive as that seems, that was actually helping. And the problem was I was scratching the heck out of my floor. So I started adding some things to that. I started using some nylon towels to make it slide a little bit better. And that was good. And then I stepped it up a little bit. I had an old dry erase board that was down in my basement. And I laid it down on the ground, and I actually sprayed some oil on it, some WD-40, and I started sliding my weights around on that in these concrete finishing motions. And I was just really intrigued. I was like, wow, this is working this shoulder in so many different directions and so many different planes, and it's very comfortable, and I'm actually starting to feel this muscle trying to wake up a little bit. So that was kind of neat. And besides that, I was getting a little bit of a workout. I was finding myself starting to breathe hard and realizing, hey, this is kind of neat. So I took a little break from that. Summer came, and you know, I thought about it, and when the fall came back in, this was in the fall of 2010, I got back to work at some of these things, and I expanded a little bit of what I was doing. I located a company. I was thinking I needed some big slick surface, and I located a company that basically manufactured a high density plastic that was very slick. And I bought a sheet of that, and I laid it on the floor, and I began using that. And at first I just put my dumbbells right on the plastic, and boy, it slid really well, but it did scratch the plastic. So I said, you know, I got to find a better way for this. So at that point, I began looking for slick sort of pads that would slide on that plastic. You can notice that behind me here is the board. It's very slick. And so I started experimenting, and I found some pads that were just incredibly slick, and they didn't absorb water because I happened to sweat really intensively, and it wasn't good because I was sweating all over the board and getting everything nasty with the cloths I was using. So that led me to developing some basically sliding pads. And I started putting the dumbbells on top of the sliding pads, and it was kind of like one of those voila moments of, wow, this is cool. This is working, and this is giving me a workout that I haven't had, and it's really bringing my shoulder along quickly. With that, I started thinking about the exact motions that I was doing, and across the top of the finisher, we have the top row are all in symbol form, the motions that we do. And the top row they are all linear motions. And the bottom row are all circular motions. And there are 20 different exercises that go across the top. This would be our basic workout. And over in the far corner, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but over in the far corner, I have a timer over there. And it's a countdown repeat timer. And we just attach it to the board. It doesn't have to be attached to the board. I can put it on my hip or whatever. And at that point, I start that, and I started running through these exercises. Well, you know, I became very excited about that because it was an incredible workout. And I would do 3 rounds of these exercises and come upstairs full of sweat and looking at my wife going, that's something. And that's something that I would like to share with other people. That's why I'm here with you today. I want to share with you what I have here. To me, it's a great thing. It's been great for me. And at the end of the day, I'm going to always have one in my basement to use and to work out with. But I'd like to offer this to you, the public. I have had a chance to introduce this to physical therapists and the the application within the physical therapy world is incredible. It's huge. So many different things that can be used. The more I have worked and developed this, I've come to realize this is not a shoulder exercise per se. This is an entire upper body workout. It is the shoulders, it is the upper back, it's the chest, it's the ab and the cores like you've never seen. And by changing the use of the board, whether we elevate it up off the ground at table height or knee height, it becomes an incredible lower body workout even. So using your quads and your glutes, your hamstrings to change your body weight and move back and forth. And then we demonstrate that in our video. I've just come to realize we've got a great thing here. I'd like to introduce it to you. This is the finisher. The practice of going through these exercises is called finishing. And those are our trademarks. Those are the things that we want to introduce to the public. I hope you find it to be as enjoyable as I have. And looking forward to seeing more of these get out into the public. The company that we've created is called Finishing Fitness. And these are the finishers. Thank you for listening.